I've got to get it out of the way real quick. Yes, my base is griefed. I'm on the 2b2t archive. You can find my base at /warp Capybase, and you can also find Endhaven on the 2b2t archive, which I'll put the IP in the description. But first, the intro was a complete blast to make. I westernified my town, did a little spin on my city, even put in some buildings that I never actually made on 2B. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you to P529 for voicing Joey, Meg, and also a little bit Magic X for doing the acting, and also, lastly, Cubic Tavern. Cubic Tavern is this like online store I got some models off of for Blockbench models, and they were really fun to play with. I made a little resource pack that turned pumpkin heads into like cowboy hats and stuff like that. And I'm really planning on doing my own models in the future, so I think that'll be a lot of fun. Let me fix this real quick. Despite what some comments may say, my base was not found and griefed by merely any normal griefer or base hunter, but rather, my base was self-griefed by Joey Coconut and Cuba. You might recognize that name from my last video at this base 7 months ago. Long time. I didn't show it in that video, but alongside the help of a player 7, I believe 7 mainly did it, they use block rotations, texture block rotations, to deduct where my base was. And Cuba traveled the 27 million blocks to this base. It's actually pretty much exactly how the Hermitcraft fans found the permit office, like hideout place. So, yeah. I'll no longer be using rotated blocks in my builds. I'll be using a mod by rfresh to turn off block rotations, because that's a serious vulnerability for me on 2B. As for why I let the base be griefed and why I wanted it to be griefed, it came down to a mix of reasons. Real life, personal, 2B reasons. I just rather not get into too deeply, but all in all, I think there's kind of a statute of limitations on how long you can step away from a project before it just becomes dead weight, Like, I hadn't really done anything for maybe 6 months. This base was becoming more of a burden than a joy. So, although I'm happy with this stuff, well, not happy with the mud over there and stuff on the windows because I never did any interiors, but although I'm happy with the base, there would have been a different take on it. And I never actually built those buildings, so I'll show them in a little bit. But, losing the base isn't the end, and I'll show you why soon. If you're a 2b2t player, I believe the thumbnail, you might recognize a little bit of the idea. I'm joining X-Ray SA, Yomoboyo, and Harrison at Foxfall 2. So, there will be more 2b2t videos to come. But I also plan on starting a single-player world to let myself relax a little bit, 2b2t can be very, very stressful to build at and record. I have to think so much about planning stuff. So I think it'd be a nice break of sorts. Just sit down and build. No stresses. But before we get to Foxfall, let me show you what my plan was for the base and what I have done. Now here's my westernified version of the town. We have Cuba's build and Joey's was here on the archive. But these are the two builds that would have been placed down. And I was planning on doing like a library here. A big library. But I never ended up designing anything. And then this was just, a condo, and this was planned to be a bank. But for here, I made it kind of like a bar. I did interiors and stuff in here a little bit, but they really weren't shown off in the intro. Why is this messed up? Anyway, you can see them in their true light here, how they would have been. And, the texturing on this is really fun to do. I did this so long ago now, but it's using like the side of cherry wood and stuff to really bring that in. Kind of wanted it to be gritty and stuff. Oh gosh, I just said gritty. Also, these houses here, I did like almost 2 years ago now. Jeez. Okay, maybe not 2 years, maybe like a year. And I was gonna try to mess with these a bit because these are kind of outdated for me, and try to make them bigger, better, and do another street. But of course, it never came to fruition, unfortunately. But as I said, don't fret. We are going to be at Foxfall today in this video, building something. Not really sure yet my idea. You obviously saw from the thumbnail, so I figured something out. But very excited. I love the base. I'm ready to show it off to you guys. So let's get in game and do this thing. Well, everybody, welcome to Foxfall number 2. Look at them floating signs, by the way. What the heck? So, we've got, at this base, we've got Harrison, X-Ray, Yomo, and now me, Capybep. I'm here. And we're not exactly starting from scratch. You see, Yomo Boyo and X-Ray have been grinding at the base. And keep in mind, they are not just grinding like the average Minecraft builder you see. They enjoy something called freehand building from time to time. Whoa, I know you'd never realize that. But most Minecraft builders nowadays, me too, we build our builds in creative mode first. And then, look at these little pew-pews. Then, we transfer it onto whatever server single player we desire to get, you know, it's mostly out of anxiety that, you know, it's harder to mess with your builds. But look at all this stuff, especially, look at this. This is crazy. These airships, I really love them. I find that to be the hardest thing to freehand in the world, so, yeah. Props to these guys. Yomoboy X-Ray, I say, you've carried the base. And now is our time to shine. We're bringing in the juices with some Limatica. We're tainting their minds, dropping a little evil spell on them. Mwahaha, you now must use Limatica and never freehand your builds. Okay, not actually, but I'm here to do some landscaping, you see. In the future, we're also going to landscape this river over here a little bit more in the waterfalls. But for today's episode, as you've seen from probably the thumbnail, we're gonna do a mountain up the side with a little path on it. Put a little path on it. Yeah. And this is the entrance. This is gonna be the entrance to Foxfall. Very regal, very epic. I think I'm gonna make somebody put a little castle on top after as well. Very cool stuff. Last time when I did terraforming at my base, rest in peace, at my base, I use this thing called angled cliff. It's a brush from Meta Edits or Meta Brushes. Can't remember which one. There's both of them, and they both do different things. But you see, they disbanded that product. Or they changed the fabric of reality on that product a lot. The angled cliff brush is very much changed, and I don't know how to get the classic features back. Unfortunately, I'm not very big-minded, you see. So, unfortunately, we had to go with angled cliff. The same thing, but just a different version. So it wasn't the end of the world, but I'm using the Axiom version this time, which it makes me learn new tools and such. So what we did was I built up the terrain with angled cliff meta brushes, which is like, it's basically like a cylinder, and then you can like kind of shape it and do permutations on it. Permutations, is that the right word? I don't know. But you can mess with it. And so I did that, and then smoothed it out with Axiom Smooth, then did a little path tool, and we're in business. We're in flipping business. Oh, I also did Archeon boulder brushes as well. So it's pretty similar to the technique I used in my video a year ago, but also different. Also, merely all I need left is tough blocks, rooted dirt, and some dead brain coral and dead tube coral. But all we need to do now is build a train, then I can talk about it and then build stuff on it, like trees, and then build a little gate on it and stuff. But yeah, let's build that train. Let's flip and do it. Well, there we have it. Done with the build. I'm very, very happy. Well, not happy in the slightest. What's there to be happy about? Job finished? Job's not finished. I don't think so. But really though, this is a good start. This is the groundwork. I saw a sign over there, by the way, I need to check out. First of all, though, I want to thank X-Ray Essay. I was, planning on doing this basically just myself, but I put the Lightmatic or whatever in the Discord, the Foxfall Discord, and I said, yo, if anyone wants to help out, oh, here it is. And he, I logged on, or, what's it called? I did, half of it, right? Logged off, logged back on, and then he was just done. He was just done the build, and I was like, oh, shoot. So I did the last little bit, just the, I don't know why those are there. Or I did the last little bit of the pathing, and then look at that. Beautiful. I mean, we'll get rid of the torches eventually. But as I said, this is just the groundwork. We need to add trees, we need to add a build. Basically, there's this one reference photo that I saw that's taken from, this angle, kinda. Not exactly, the same shape, but pretty much with a little overhang, and then a, right here I want, a gate, right? To whisper you into the fantasy world that is Foxfall. Anyway, yeah, the inspiration photo, very cool. I'm excited to do the rest. We've got to add trees, bushes, fix the lighting eventually. I don't even know if I'll do that in this episode because it's so boring. But yeah, let's get into building some foliage so we can make it more beautiful. And then in the end of the video, we'll do the gate. Let's flip and go. Let's do this. That little landscaping time-lapse I did beforehand, the terrain, the terraforming, made it look so flippin' easy, but it took so long. So we're going to slow it down a little bit here while I do the trees. I want to thank again X-Ray Essay for helping me with the terrain. He basically did half of it while I was AFK, so big props. I was initially going to section off and just do a specific part of the terrain and then finish another time, another episode. But the reference photo that I went over, it's I kind of need to do it all to get a good screenshot and stuff. So tragically, I had to actually build. It was kind of nice though, just to sit down. Well, I was gonna say it was nice to just sit down and build, but 2b2t has been insanely laggy recently. Someone's lagging the server or duping or something. Speaking of, I don't go over my how I get materials in my videos, but this time was kind of annoying. I actually had to farm. I know, I actually had to farm by hand something, which is crazy for me. Usually, the spawn masons, they have every material in the game, but pre 1.12, right? So now the 2B's updated, other than farming materials that have high efficiency farms, I have to actually get the materials myself. It's absolutely tragic. I had to get dead brain coral and stuff like that by hand, and tough by hand. I did use, I used a beacon though, it was pretty easy. But these trees here, let's talk about them. I used to freehand trees, and they never looked right because I wasn't really thinking about how trees actually work. Or I would use World Edit with a ball brush with 70% air and 30% leaves. And it wouldn't look right. It would look like spheres being placed everywhere in tree form. But it would look all deformed and spherical, I don't know. This time, making trees, I got help from people in the Discord server that the famed builder J-Bus runs. I got help specifically from Evolution, and Ozander. They helped me out with these spruce trees. Ozander, his style is really what is this kind of tree itself, these trees. But Evolution, his method of making trees really helped me out a lot. Basically, what they do is they do the trunk, right? Then they go in with cylinders, hollowed cylinders in World Edit, do, larger cylinders at the bottom and smaller at the top until it, tapers off. Then add some shading with, a darker color leaf and, shave off some parts and add on some, roughness in some parts. But I thought this really helped me because I always have struggled with trees, right? But I feel this is a super easy method to get it done efficiently. I was just grinding them out. They're not perfect, right? They're not perfect. I think I could do better, but I do like them. I think I'm still gonna mess with the designs a little bit, but comparatively with what I used to do, those guys helped me out a lot. So yeah, big shout out Ozander and Evo. I also got help from this guy Latchsack, who's the goat at oak trees. So in the future, when I need a big fluffy oak tree, it won't be some spherical blobs. It'll be a beautiful design. Actually, Hefty dude, he recently made a video about Latchsack's process, or not specifically about him, but you know, showed off the process in that video. So you should go check that out if you haven't. Basically, he just does like a 2D plane of a tree and then hand rotates it around, which I think is really interesting. And all these kind of tips just culminate in making trees way more fluffy, way more realistic. So, you know, big props to them. I really appreciate it, you know? The JBus building server with all these goats in it has really helped me advance my skills, you know? Anyway, these trees are very beautiful. Thank you to those goats. You know, I never want to say that I build by myself, right? I'm a culmination of all the people around me. So, yeah, thank you. We are flipping ready to finally build the build. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. We're just going to build a little gate. Nothing super stylish and extraordinary. But it'll do to bring us into the beautiful land of Foxfall. But, as I said, yeah, look at these trees. Cylindrical in nature. Do a cylinder, then mess with it. Do a cylinder, 2 cylinders, mess with it. It's, you could kind of see, you can really see on this tree, actually. This might need some work. But, quite lovely. Quite beautiful. The path also, very nice. Rooted dirt was annoying to get, but it was worth it. As I said, though, now is not the time to dilly-dally, for we still have building to do. I'm gonna set up, basically what we're gonna do is make a little gate here, or not a gate, more like a door right here, and then 2 pillars, 4 pillars, 3, 4, and those will be kind of making a tower on, or 2 towers on either side of the doorway. Let me turn back on line side time. Then we'll just have the gate kind of go around over here and have some boxes and little details here and there. Yeah, here, let's do that real quick. Okay, there we go. Something like that, and we're gonna just connect this together with some spruce in between, and then detail it up a little bit. I'm not really a sightlines kind of person. I'm trying to get better at that, but I think this really works out well, you know? Kind of blocks you into this right here. Just nice. I like that a lot. And then the gate will just be trapdoors, like, stacked upon itself. So, yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'll put the door in here real quick. We'll do one of these little spinny things, and then after that, I think I'll just do the rest by myself and finish it off real quick. So, 3, 2, 1. Woochoo! There we go. Something like that. I saw a reference photo, and it was like they have something in the middle, like a divider in the middle, and then kind of like a triangle there. So I'm gonna see if I can try to do that. I think I want to do it with like andesite. That's kind of what it looks like. Obviously, we'll like extrude some parts, especially like the top parts. And once it's all together, I think it'll look nice. Nothing crazy, as I said, but a little something, something. You know what? We can do another one of these here. I'll just finish off the build real quick, and then we'll talk about it, or then we'll add some little final details. There we have it. Beautiful little gate. Nothing crazy. I didn't want to go too off palette from Foxfall. Like, you can see, we're Spruce Mayhem, right? I quite like this. It's nice. It's nice. I had it, as I said, I had it go over here a little bit as well. And we're using the mangrove to oak to spruce. Beautiful combo. Just always works. You can never go wrong with that beautiful gradient there. Now, we just gotta add some boxes. I already kind of planned out here, or not planned out, but I just broke out some of the chains here so we could put in. I want to put a box right here. But I need beehives. Just a little bit annoying. But never mind, you can craft them. I had to look it up. You can craft them. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just something like that. Just little boxes here and there. I think we put one right here also. And then barrels. Barrels also are really nice, obviously. Like that, perhaps. That's nice. And then I want to add a little overhang or like a shed here almost. So I think like that. There we go. And then there we go. Well, that obviously doesn't cover the barrels, but if we just put a little thing like that, and then, oh my goodness, I need to get my e-chest. Alright, I found some chainmail in one of Yomo's chests. Let's move that there. There we go. A little something, something. I still don't know what the right word is. Oh my goodness, but yeah, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Not carpet, like a wool overhang. Flipping heck, dude. I really don't know. I'm like losing my mind here, but it's kind of nice. It just gives a little extra touch to the front of the build of the gate. Makes it look like people are working, have built here and stuff like that. I have some melons, pumpkins, hay bales, decorated pots. You like that? Yeah, a little pop of color. Very nice. And the dreaded backside. Should probably do a little bit of something here. Now I feel like this feels more like an actual gate where there's stuff going on. But yeah, definitely feels like there's people moving in and out of here, materials going into the city and whatnot. And I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to clean up the materials and then that's it. That's it. We've done all we wanted to do. There we flipping have it. It's so beautiful. I'm very happy with all the work done in today's video. I think that's all I wanted to do. That's it. I say that's all, but this was flipping long project, even though I wanted to do I was like, let me do something little for today, so I, get an episode out or a video out. But I don't back down from a challenge. Holy crud, we did a lot. Holy crud indeed. Well, yeah, that's all for this episode of 2B2T. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.